A very good evening to you all, and welcome from me, Rukidi Kiijanangoma, to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Tuesday, the 10th day of December 2024. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcasting House here on Nile Avenue. Shortly, I'll be joined by Senyomo Yusuf on sign language. Now, His Excellency President Yoweri Museveni has taken the wealth creation crusade to Sebei sub-region, with his first day in the area being in Kwen, Buko and Kapchorwa districts. In the three districts, the President has visited key selected parish development model program beneficiaries. Onyango Robert kicks us off.
The Wealth Creation Sub-Regional Tour has returned this Tuesday, with President Museveni pitching camp in Sebei area. Cherimo Nicholas has received the President as he started a 3-day visit to Sebei sub-region.
The message of Muse is not utopia. It is a message which is practical, as you can see. Look at the matoke. Look at the coffee. It is being produced in a small area.
54-year-old Cherimo is a model farmer on zero grazing, banana, coffee, maize growing and poultry.
So the income from the milk, the income from the coffee, the matoke, you can see the matoke is doing well. In total, we get a gross income of about 37 to 40 million annually.
A history teacher by profession at St. Joseph's SS Buko recalls how support from the Operation Wealth Creation has changed his life.
This other cow you see in the middle here was a support from Operation Wealth Creation. It has given sire 3, and then the other one, after now getting the income, I've also bought the other big cow.
Cherimo has not been selfish, but rather embraced his community.
The people are now appreciating, and many of them from the district, even from other sub-counties, they come for benchmarking notes here.
If you do it on a small scale, you can't get money. So, and this was a problem in the whole country. What NRM taught you was that there are 2 types of agriculture.
From Kweni, Rafanisa Kisa is one of the PDM beneficiaries who received a 1 million shilling capital. President Museveni also visited Yapiswak Doring, another successful PDM member, also reaping big from her farm.
So the second cow I have is from PDM. I was given 1 million from Kobil Kawo PDM Sako.
Because whatever she gets, she has never used it to benefit her alone. She has decided to also teach other people. Many people come and benchmark from here.
So I'm happy to see that our granddaughter has woken up and is engaged in wealth creation. She bought a cow using UPDM money plus her 400,000 which she added.
President's visit seems as an opportunity to lobby for more support, mainly from local leaders.
Number 1 issue is a resettlement problem.
You promised this community, one, you said you were going to construct a technical school in the names of Susan Mugu. So I would like to remind you, Your Excellency.
President Museveni says PDM will rescue Ugandans from moneylenders.
Don't touch money of moneylenders. Don't go to commercial banks. There is a parish bank for you. And each year we shall be putting in 100 million, 100 million. In 5 years, it will be 500 million.
Museveni also notes that it has come to his attention that farm inputs imported out of the country cannot transform the country, thus harboring an idea of bringing on board the army to find a lasting solution.
When I go around, I see many of our people have pigs, have poultry. I talk to General Mujira. I say, you Mujira, why don't you think of how zone by zone can produce chicken feed, cattle feeds, zone by zone, so that Karamoja, you don't have to go to Kampala.
Museveni will commission the Great High Altitude Training Center on Wednesday before addressing regional leaders and interact with the local media practitioners. Robert Onyango, UBC News.
Now, President Yoweri Museveni has donated 300 million shillings to support Hoima Catholic Diocese as it hosts this year's National Catholic Youth Conference. Hoima Catholic Diocese, which falls under Mbarara Ecclesiastical Province, is hosting this year's National Catholic Youth Conference celebrations from December 10th to December 15th, 2024 at Our Lady of Lourdes, Bujumbura Cathedral in Hoima City. The money was handed over by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robina Nabanja, to the Bishop of Hoima Catholic Diocese, Right Reverend Bishop Vincent Chirabo Amoti, at the office of the Prime Minister here in Kampala.
While handing over the money, Nabanja said that the head of the state extended a hand towards the organizing of the conference for its success.
On behalf of government, on behalf of the President, I have the honor to hand over 300 million to you, my Lord, to support you in the conference you are organizing for the youth. I'm told it is starting today. Yes. Remember, you told me to inform the President that this was a very big conference because it cuts across all the 19 dioceses across the country. And I know you couldn't manage alone. So here we are, the President has answered our prayers.
The Minister of State in charge of the children and youth, Balaam Barugahara, lauded the President for the support to the youth. Bishop Chirabo appreciated the President for supporting the National Youth Council. Chirabo says that the youth shall be trained on how they can be responsible citizens in a God-fearing way.
We really feel encouraged as church that we are grooming better citizens. This is the time to have influence and talk to the young ones.
The diocese is hosting the youth event on behalf of the province of Mbarara, mostly targeting school and non-school going youth from all denominations from the age of 12 to 35, with an aim of transforming their lives into better citizens. Bishop Chirabo said that the church is implementing its mandate of guiding, empowering and teaching the youth to live a godly life. The President is expected to address the youth on Sunday as the conference comes to an end.
Now, Uganda Human Rights Commission is concerned over the increasing misuse of social media to demean and degrade the dignity of women. The Commission's chairperson, Mariam Wangadia, says many people are now using social networking platforms to tarnish the image of women. Wangadia made the remarks during a high-level multi-stakeholder dialogue to commemorate the International Human Rights Day here in Kampala. Take a watch.
The Uganda Human Rights Commission has celebrated the International Human Rights Day today in Kampala. The chairperson, Uganda Human Rights Commission, Mariam Wangadia, expressed concern over the increasing misuse of social media to demean and degrade the dignity of women.
Expressing my disappointment about the silence of women rights organizations and human rights organizations in general and the professional bodies to which we belong for their silence when women leaders are attacked. They are humiliated, they are insulted and vulgarized without any comment from them. We want to hear messages of solidarity for women in leadership positions.
Wangadia reminded perpetrators that their actions are an insult not only to these women as individuals, but also to mothers and national leaders.
I want to appeal to the people of Uganda to avoid settling in wetlands. It's deadly for them, but also for the rest of the public. I want all of us to love our environment, to plant trees and protect them, to come up with alternative means, alternative sources of fuel other than firewood and charcoal.
The third Deputy Prime Minister Rukidi Kiijanangoma stressed the importance of protecting the environment, acknowledging the significant damage caused. She also outlined various government initiatives aimed at ensuring environmental preservation.
Like NFA, they've been trying their best, but sometimes they are fighting with people, and people call it their rights. This is not a right, but we are sensitizing them. We are fighting with them to tell them that what you are doing is not right. This is the right thing that you have to do. Instead of cutting the tree, you just plant another tree. Don't stay in a place whereby it might cause your life you might cause your life.
Relatedly, Samuel Chiberun Subuga from the African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Torture Victims noted that victims of trauma require psychological support due to the mental impact of their experiences.
And that is also an area in which the African Center for Treatment and Rehabilitation of Torture Victims has the capacity to deal with the psychological issues which people have gone through, because we have counselors and psychologists.
Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
Makerere University Grants Administration and Management Support Unit has launched a grants management workshop on legal and managerial frameworks for grants-funded projects in universities of higher learning. Among key speakers at the grants management launch was the grants administrator from the University of Ghana, who stressed the need for compliance after acquisition of grants.
In the establishment of
Professor Buyinza Mukadasi, who represented the Vice-Chancellor, said the conference was to streamline the management and administration of grants and contracts and to create a supportive environment for grants mobilization and management.
What is the benefit? Why are we here? The dividends, the benefit from such gatherings, such capacity building workshop are enormous. All of the way from building our personal capacity to, of course, transparency and issues to do with decision making. We want our lead science to become transparent. You make your applications with the support of this office.
100 already registered, and but of course it's a very, very rigorous process. When you upload your grants, they have to go through a verification process. And if there is anything that is missing, because these grants, rather the data you enter should, relate with the documents that you attach. So when they are not relating, we are humans. If someone makes an error in, inputting probably the email or whatever, we go for each and every detail, So then we take it back into the system, and then the person has to come back and then verify.
So compliance and financial management discipline is key in the management of grants for all higher institutions of learning.
It needs to be in compliance before you be able to close out a project successfully. Without being in compliance, the institution, the individual, the college can't be sued. That is why grants are being signed by the institutional official.
Makerere University Secretary Yusuf Chiranda points out the need for universities to prioritize projects for the good of government.
Which represents the Ugandan taxpayer. And the support we get from our treasury development partners is to supplement the work of the government. So it's really important that we prioritize expectations of the government representing the Ugandan taxpayer and understand that the support we get towards this project is here to supplement our execution of those deliverables to the people of Uganda.
The theme for the grants management project is legal, financial and managerial frameworks for grant-funded projects in higher education institutions. Marion Awori for UBC.
Now, in a bid to strengthen security and governance in Uganda, the Office of the President, which is the lead agency of the Governance and Security Program, has convened the third annual Governance and Security Program review for fiscal year 2023-2024. Now, the review was on the theme of enhancing intra-program coordination and collaboration, as we hear in this story.
This event has brought together representatives from 32 government agencies engaged in maintaining law and order, promoting human rights, strengthening the rule of law. While launching the review GSP report, Honorable Mire Babidi Babalanda outlined some of the challenges these sectors face, like the increasing numbers of inmates, which puts pressure on housing, feeding and hygiene.
Echo that the Governance and Security Program has been under the unique responsibility of ensuring that the requisite conditions for this transformation prevail now and in the future. Congestion in prisons. Though the pre-trial detainees have reduced greatly over the National Development Plan period, our real challenge now is the high congestion levels in the prisons that are over 300%. We need to expand the holding capacity of the prisons to match the population.
She further urged people to embrace new technology to help in governance and security.
With reducing crime, increasing conviction rate of 73%, a reduced reoffending rate of 13.9%, I am confident we are on the right course. However, we need to strengthen our efforts in preventing crime and countering emerging trends of more sophisticated organized crime. There is need to strengthen the use of technology, including fast-tracking the intelligent transport monitoring system and CCTV.
The Permanent Secretary of the Office of the President, Yunus Kakande, says that Governance and Security Program remains the cornerstone of Uganda's efforts to uphold peace and justice.
The Governance and Security Program brings together 32 government agencies responsible for upholding the rule of law, securing security, maintaining law and order, public policy, governance, access to justice, promoting human rights, accountability, and transparency.
Dr. Katia Pesdauma, the representative of the development partner, says that the Governance and Security Program aims at promoting transparency and ensures economic and social transformation.
The joint review promotes transparency, accountability, risk management, and continuous improvement. It allows institutions to demonstrate their commitment to good governance and long-term sustainability.
Now, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, has called upon all accounting officers and health managers to adopt the key performance indicators to ensure improved environmental health service delivery. She was launching the key performance indicators for environmental health workers in local governments here in Kampala. The key performance indicators enhance the performance of environmental health cadres. Zara Habigaba reports.
Launch the key performance indicators for environmental health.
The Ministry of Health has launched key performance indicators for environmental health workers in local governments to enhance the performance of environmental health cadres for their role in disease prevention and health promotion. Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Health, Dr. Diana Twine, says certain environmental health service delivery remains unsatisfactory, resulting in a big burden of disease in the country.
We don't see the function of health inspection creating impact in hygiene, in sanitation, in our environment, pollution, waste management, garbage is everywhere, people are cooking food everywhere, people are not tested. It is a requirement. If you are going to be a food vendor, one of the requirements as per Public Health Act, you must be checked. Your people must continually undergo regular checkup, because you are handling food, and if you are sick, if you have typhoid, if you have any infection, you pass it on to other people you are serving. So these are things that we want, not just to come up with a target as Ministry of Health, or we've developed key performance indicators, now we tick the box. No, we want these performance indicators to be used by the people who are who are given the job. We want them to use this as the guide, and also in reporting, follow up on issues in the community. If the problem is latrine coverage, then though the leaders in that area must be concerned.
So that means we need to work on our hygiene, water, sanitation, and hygiene. We can reduce these diseases drastically if we live responsible lives, because we also have diseases of lifestyle.
Health experts attribute recent outbreaks with direct link to the health of the population, animals, and socio-economic system, calling for the need to focus on preventive healthcare services. Preventable ailments still account for over 75% of the country's disease burden, with the main drivers being limited access to safe water, sanitation, and hygiene, among others.
Up to 2024, there were 230,000 people who got sick because of cholera. 4,100 people died because of cholera. And the countries most affected were East African region: Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Mozambique, and even most recently, Uganda in Mbale, Elgon region. So your work matters. So as I conclude, think about how many lives would start for us to be able to effectively prevent disease outbreaks. We have to prep and stop them at source.
Zahara Abigawa, UBC News.
Still on the health sector, anti-HIV/AIDS activists have identified workplace, school and healthcare stigmatization as key barriers derailing Uganda's goal of ending AIDS by 2030. During the 6th High-Level National Dialogue on HIV, TB, Malaria and Human Rights organized by Uganet, a persistent trend of employees being dismissed due to their HIV status was noted, as we hear in the following story.
We want you to share your experiences so that you challenge stigma.
Daphne Kobusinje, a 40-year-old single mother of 4 children from Hoima, has lived with HIV for 16 years. She painfully recounts being dismissed after her employer discovered her status. To make it worse, her condition was disclosed to colleagues, intensifying her trauma.
Olunaku olwo bwe bangoba ku mulimo nga bamaze okunkebera banange nyawulira bubi bandaga kuba gundi bange banyali nkola nabo bawakaments buli omu yenna nga amaze okitegeera nti nze ndi mulwadde biki abaana nga bantunulira bwe nyamala ennaku 3 nga sigenda ku mulimo abaana nga bambuuza maama lwaki togenda kukola oli mulwadde kiki. nga saagala bagamba sina ngeri gye mbatandika banyonyola nga sina gye nsobola okwekaka naye ngamba kati buli omu wenna amaze ekitegeera lwaki sigendayo mu ddwaliro ne nfuna kanfati mu bakansala banankansolinga ne mpulira muli mu mutima.
I hid my pains until a counselor helped me through the heavy depression.
I had 181 children between the ages of 12 and 18, but they were born with HIV. And it was very, very stigmatizing for them. They would get into S1 and they don't know how to take their medicine. They don't know where to go. They go to the nurse and the nurse publishes it. The nurse tells the headmaster. The nurse tells the teacher in the class. The teacher comes and tells everybody. And so they pull back. And sometimes they don't even want to come back to the school. It's very, very difficult. How can we help them in schools? If somebody is able to speak about it, they will be able to take their medicine without any trouble.
The 2023 annual police crime report recorded over 12,000 cases of defilement involving girls under 18 years, with only 326 boys affected. Alarmingly, 383 girls below 14 years were defiled by individuals living with HIV.
383 girls were defiled by people living with HIV and AIDS. These children are being robbed of their future. They cannot be the same again. We have seen most of them contract the disease. Somebody defiles this person, goes out, granted bail, they reconcile with the parents, goes again and defiles another person because he knows he's at liberty to go and reconcile with those people. So it becomes difficult also for us who hear the cases.
We have heard of very many stories. People out there will get the drugs and not take them, or take them in hiding and therefore not take them at the right time. In such instances, someone is not going to adhere. So we want to deal with the environment, the social issues around people living with HIV.
Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Stop breathing. To be a winner, you must breathe only when necessary. Breathing is for losers. What is that? Did I give you permission to sweat? You can sweat in your free time. Push the arms straight.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165 *3#.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Moving on now, Wakiso District Deputy RDC Charles Luanga has summoned a meeting to implement the High Court order suspending all works on the land at Jagala village in Wakiso District. It is disputed by Haji Isaac Mulindwa Makinawa and tenants whom he alleges encroached on it. Luanga ordered suspension of all developments until court rules on the case.
Security was beefed up at Jagala village situated in Gombe Division, Wakiso district, amidst a meeting convened by the Deputy RDC Wakiso Charles Ruanga to implement a court order suspending all activities on the disputed land of Haji Isaac Mulindwa Makinawa and squatters he alleges to have forcefully settled on his land. All the conflicting sides attended the meeting in the presence of security personnel, including OCs from Matuga and Gombe.
Oyenna anagenda anakola ekiri against the court order kwetudirigana naye nayenga mwena abakulembeze empozi omulango nsobola bagamba mubere bakakamu.
It is alleged that Haji Isaac Mulindwa Makinawa filed a case in the High Court complaining about Vibanja holders. And on the 25th October 2024, the court issued a temporary injunction suspending all activities on the land until it gives its judgment.
Sakubeerako court order ne wabeerawo party yonna eri against the court order mulina okuddayo mu kooti.
However, despite court's order, construction works continued and destruction of property.
Buloka zonna bazitwala kubanga era olaba buloka manyi nange ne muwabira yampo wabira mbonna tente n'embuzi ne muzeyi nalinzise ku ntezo taata nalinzise ku ntenemu.
The situation prompted Wakiso District Deputy RDC Charles Ruanga and security forces to intervene, calling for harmony between the two parties. Haji Isaac Mulindwa Makinawa alleges he is worried of his life as he receives threats from these people over his land.
Takalino eyika bibiri tekwali bwa bibanja ino kutusa wadongo bwati agamba nti nze ndi wa kibanja wa taliwo omwami Kapipa bwajja nazimbako ennyumba eyo nazimbako n'endala n'agamba nti ate nze njimenye ng'ate yazembenyedde nazimbako n'ebira nazimbako nze ndi wange nsirise najje wange nga ntudde mu ntebe yange eri n'abantu be bonna n'emiggo bajje nangambira ddala mu maaso oyo tinja kutta ne famire yo Kapipa ne recording weziri.
The personal assistant to General Salim Saleh Akandwanaho, Joro Sebayiga Zabiryo and local leaders shared their ordeals.
Mperebwa obuvunaanyizibwa ng'omwana ali kuno era natwala obuvunaanyizibwa n'enjogera na buli omu akwasibwako. Amazima tugamanyi mitima ki naye tuddidde obulimba tubufudde amaki kale nga tetutawaanya bakulu bano tuddire amazima gatuwe ebirungi muki mitima gya
kyamazima ng'ali ku mutima gwa Katonda abamanyi naye sookera ddala tutuule naye obuntu bulamu tugaye muviimakirawa nobwekitibwekiti.
The Deputy RDC Wakiso District, Charles Ruanga, urged the people to avoid violence but mediate.
Simanyi lwaki tukkiriza nnyo mu bintu ebirimu violence. Tulina okugenda wa Muzeeyi Makinawa ne tusaba nti twagala kuteesa. Okuteesa kujja kutuwa kye twagala. Bwe tunajja amaanyi buli omu n'aleeta amaanyi buli omu n'ayogera kino at the end of the day ffenna tuyinza okukola ki? Okufiirwa ate obudde tetubulina. Obudde tebuliiwo nsaba ekiseera kino tukiweeyo olw'emirembe.
Amwaeva Njuko for UBC.
Now, the conclusion of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence has highlighted critical issues for women in politics. Women affiliated to National Unity Platform NUP political party are concerned about the rampant violence they face in political spaces, which discourages many from pursuing leadership roles. Now, these remarks were made during a training organized by the NOP Women's League at Makere, Kavli.
N'ebifo ebirala byonna ebyenjawulo n'eno gye tubeera mu byobufuzi obutabankobeeramu naddala mu nsonga z'okulonda oba ne process etutwala mu kulonda. Tukimanyi bulungi nnyo nti mu Uganda wano
ekigambo kye batera okukozesa mujja kuntegeera. Omwami ono nayagala omwebuuzaako nga ba senior politicians okumwebuuzaako how do they do it, bakopinga batya n'embeera kale ali mu opposition But omwami ono bwe namutuukirira yangamba, you know, you see, when we meet people,
she coordinates and mobilizes the central region.
No to political violence. No to gender-based violence. No to ourselves being the perpetrators.
When you are a woman in this setting and whatever goes on, you are disempowered by most of our societal norms. However, when you are a young woman, you are doubly affected. Therefore, as young women, we actually need this information better because we are not exposed to how gender-based violence happens in politics, in families, at workplaces. However, when we get this information before falling culprits or before becoming victims of gender-based violence, we get to know how we are able to intervene or how
we work together. When we are together working, all these powerful women, we come together, we will be able to support one another to see that, you know, we can speak out even better and encourage one another. The third, we will be working with the whole party structure. Our president is very committed to end any form of violence and discrimination. So we will take it up. And we already even have the Sexual Harassment Act policy, which is being implemented. So we will not keep quiet. We will speak out. We will not stop until violence against women in political spaces, especially in party political spaces, is prevented, it ends. Research by Forum for Women Democracy. The title is Deterred, Battered but not deterred. It highlights the percentage of how many women who run for electoral positions have faced violence, including from intimate relationship, but specifically in the political spaces. Also comes from activism.
Now, the judiciary has employed a boot camp training session for judicial security officers organized by Farm Wellness in partnership with Farm House to help strengthen their minds and keep their bodies healthy and in shape. Corporal Kenneth Mubiru, the chairman, Judicial Bodyguards, commended the organizers for their arrangement held at High Court in Kampala that's aimed at helping them become better at their job.
The session aimed at empowering judicial security through strength and security guide wellness commenced with the judicial security participating in sporting activities monitored by a team of trainers. The exercise focused on shaping their bodies and keeping them steady, fit and healthy.
Organized this event to give back to the community, and our target for today was the judiciary security. All the participants, the majority of the participants were the security guards. We want to keep them fit, we want to keep them healthy so that they can be able to protect our corporates. The target for the boot camp was not only to give back to the community, but also to show it's really good to keep our bodies in shape, and not only targeting fitness, but also wellness. It doesn't matter to do fitness alone if you're not also considering the wellness part of it.
The organizers believe the extension of this service to the beneficiaries will enhance the operation of their duties and plan to dedicate their arrangement often.
Really happy. They were so happy because I don't know if some of them it was their first time. Probably others it's not their first time, but it being of a kind, they were really happy, and we hope they will come next time we call upon them.
You cannot train and then it's junk, and you cannot, it's junk and not train out. So if you are going to start the fitness, the wellness has to kick in to protect your body, to protect your lungs, to protect your heart.
Trainers advise the people to regularly engage in sporting activities to ensure they are physically fit.
Our motive here was to promote physical activity in security department. We had an aerobics exercise and a functional food bootcamp session.
Functional training is basically about improving or mimicking our day-to-day activities. So overall it helps in our functionality and our well-being as well.
Corporal Kenneth Mubiru, the chairman of Judicial Bodyguards, on behalf of other beneficiaries, lauded the judiciary and organizers for the tremendous workout concept.
I want to thank the administration of the judiciary, the top management, to organize such events, such camps. We as bodyguards, we are sometimes very busy. We need to be fit. It embraces us. We need to be fit. We need to reduce stress as we come to join. We do exercise together.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
Uganda Muslim Supreme Council UMSC has signed a memorandum of understanding with the International Islamic Fiqh Academy to promote Islamic principles and foster cooperation. Dr. Zakir Naik, the keynote speaker, highlighted the core duties of Islam while emphasizing the importance of Muslims being exemplary role models in their communities. The Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mubaje, elaborated on the agreement, stating that it will enhance the Council's ability to address contemporary challenges facing Muslims. Now, this milestone comes as UMSC celebrates its 50th anniversary with a grand ceremony scheduled for Thursday.
Thank you. Fighting the non-Muslims towards Islam. There are various different strategies and methodologies today that Muslims use for inviting non-Muslims to Islam. Some are less effective, while the others are more effective. The most common method is that when we meet a non-Muslim, we speak 100 good things about Islam. Even if that non-Muslim agrees with those 100 good things about Islam, at the back of his mind, he will keep thinking, you're the same Muslim who's a terrorist. You're the same Muslim who's a fundamentalist. You are the Muslim who marry more than one woman.
Kyetukoze kwe kusaininga endagaano y'enkolagana wakati waffe nga Uganda Muslim Supreme Council ne World Fiqh Academy nga tukisainize ne Secretary General Dr. Kutubu Sano. Tukisainize enkolagana okubeera nga Supreme Council ekolagana n'ekitongole ekyo ekyensi yonna ekirina ekitebe kyakyo e Jeddah mu Saudi Arabia, ate mu ngeri y'emu nga World Forum for Muslim Councils, African Forum for Muslim Councils, ekibiina ekitaba ebitongole by'eddiini ku lukalu lwa Afrika era nga kikikiddwa bano.
Uganda Blood Transfusion Services has received a donation of ultra-modern tools worth 1.3 billion Ugandan shillings. Now, this generous donation, made possible through a collaborative effort between EcoBank, Malaria Free Uganda, the Ministry of Health and other key partners, marks a significant step in Uganda's fight against severe malaria-related anemia and other critical health challenges.
The state-of-the-art equipment includes 2 double-door refrigerators, 4 platelet agitators and 4 flow preparative centrifuges, all aimed at strengthening Uganda Blood Transfusion Services capacity to manage severe malaria-related anemia and other critical medical needs.
And all these are meant to help UBTS in terms of their work, how they collect and how they keep and manage use of blood to support especially malaria patients. And in this case, we're also talking about cancer patients because of the work that they do.
By providing these equipment, the partners are helping UBTS to save lives and further strengthen Uganda's healthcare system. This 1.3 billion Ugandan shillings initiative also marks a significant step toward ensuring the availability of sufficient blood to manage severe malaria and avert preventable deaths.
There are over 15.5 million Ugandans every year
suffer from malaria. Government spends over $500 million in the treatment of malaria. Families, you don't know how much they spend, every family, because malaria being highly connected with poverty, you can see that even the poor, they spend more resources in the fight against malaria. This must be reversed by the private sector using part of their corporate social responsibility.
The Minister of Health, Dr. Jan Luther Cheng, represented by Joseph Okware, a director at the ministry, called for further resources and commitments to scale up efforts to eliminate malaria in Uganda.
Without adequate and timely blood supplies, we cannot effectively manage severe complications arising from malaria, emergencies arising from obstetric causes, and severe complications arising from trauma, among others. In all these cases, we need blood. And when we need blood urgently to save life. So, this contribution by Malaria-Free Uganda, therefore, is a vital step towards ensuring that no life is lost due to lack of blood.
The equipment is expected to enhance the blood bank's efficiency in blood collection, processing and storage, not only addressing malaria-related anemia, but also supporting other critical needs such as maternal health and emergency response for trauma victims. Danny Sigoa and Juma Samba for UBC News.
Now, the principal of the Youth Skills Training Center at the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, Chibirango Mohammed, has urged parents to involve learners on holiday in productive skills-based work. He was speaking at Horizon Kindergarten and Primary School in Luwero Town Council.
Of over 1,000 solar installation technicians who have this year been trained by various technical institutions across the country under the Sindea program passed out at Kaliro Vocational Training Institute.
That Sindea has come in with this project and it is really good. I just call upon others to come and join.
Sendea is beneficial. I call upon all those parents to bring their children to Kaliro Technical Institute.
According to engineer Loy Chozaire, this partnership with Steve Tang and a host of vocational training institutes in different regions of Uganda aims at refocusing the quality across the renewable energy value chain.
We already have results. I'm very happy to say that. We have already, some of our beneficiaries, you'll be hearing them in this report, that have already started doing work and a great job in this place. Our collaboration with the Kaliro Technical Institute has been very, very successful.
With varying curriculum reviews being undertaken in the vocational training component, some researchers argue that such defined interventions that speak directly to community challenges need to be advanced.
Currently, renewable energy is there to go. First of all, when you look at the rural areas and more so Kaliro district itself, power is on and off this hydropower. Now, renewable energy, whereby you can have, for instance, the solar energy from the sun. We are doing the best because during the time where there's darkness, at least solar energy can take charge.
These freelance solar technicians have been provided with start-up toolbox kits aimed at enabling them to directly dive into the job market linked to installation of solar systems.
Now, after all it has done to heighten Uganda's technological prowess, MTN Uganda has now laid focus on the fight against gender-based violence. We have a detailed story.
This year marks the 25th anniversary of the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. It's a milestone that underscores both the progress achieved and the critical work that remains to create a safer, and more equitable world. Unfortunately, despite all effort, global statistics point to a woman losing her life every 11 minutes, and with 1 in 3 women reported to experience violence in their lifetime. For Uganda, a 2021 report by the Uganda Bureau of Statistics showed that 95% of women and girls in the country have experienced either physical, sexual, emotional, or economic violence. Such is the reason MTN Uganda has come in to partner with UN Women and FIDA as part of the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence.
And because of that, MTN has taken a step, very strong policies in place for the company to note zero tolerance with discrimination, with also sexual harassment and anything related to gender-based violence.
To MTN Uganda, such efforts are aimed at creating awareness through community outreach programs, promoting digital safety tools, and forging partnerships. The telecommunication giant's latest engagement in the fight against gender-based violence has been at Smart Girls Foundation, which is a non-for-profit organization that trains and supports young girls and women. The 16 Days of Activism campaign serves as a powerful reminder that everyone has a role to play in ending gender-based violence.
There is myths that so many of you live by. If your eye is twitching, it means you're going to see someone you like. If it shines and rains at the same time, it means a leopard is giving birth. If your hand is itching, it means you're going to get money. If you see an owl, it means somebody's gonna die. If you hear of a disease outbreak, just know it is in a village district at the border next to some suspicious country. You will want to scratch that last myth, because Mpox is in 19 districts and Kampala is among with dozens of cases. Please stop going around checking anyone's hand. Mpox kills. Protect your loved ones.
Amazina ganje ninyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco ninduga mu district ya Rukungiri ndio muhanguzi wa miliyoni 18 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana star 278 hash ngafuna message eriko mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo nedi y'abafere sente ziriyo zona bakaziteka ko nazihangwire.
Uganda National Lottery. Dream, play, win. Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
To be a winner, you must have the discipline of a tiger. But when fueled with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial star 165 star 3 hash, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo pin and pay. Congratulations! Your car is happy and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. As efforts towards widening access to renewable energy grow, vocational training institutions are being advised on targeted scaling. The Chief Executive Officer of Sendea Academy, Loy Chozaire, says at nearly 32% of access to solar-related utilities, the quality of technicians involved in installation for household and productive use, such as irrigation and milling, ought to be improved. She was speaking during the pass-out of a cohort of solar installation technicians trained by Sendea Academy. Take a watch.
These are part of over 1,000 solar installation technicians who have this year been trained by various technical institutions across the country under the Sindea program. Passed out at Kaliro Vocational Training Institute.
That Sendea has come in with this project and it is really good. I just call upon others to come and join.
Sendea is beneficial. I call upon all those parents to bring their children to Kaliro Technical Institute.
According to engineer Loy Chozaire, this partnership with Steve Tang and a host of vocational training institutes in different regions of Uganda aims at refocusing the quality across the renewable energy value chain.
We already have results. I'm very happy to say that. We have already some of our beneficiaries, you'll be hearing them in this report, that have already started doing work and a great job in this place. Our collaboration with the Kaliro Technical Institute has been very successful.
With varying curriculum reviews being undertaken in the vocational training component, some researchers argue that such defined interventions that speak directly to community challenges need to be advanced.
Currently, renewable energy is there to go. First of all, when you look at the rural areas and more so Kaliro district itself, power is on and off this hydro power. Now, renewable energy, whereby you can have, for instance, the solar energy from the sun. We are doing the best because during the time where there's darkness,
Now, the Commissioner General of Uganda Revenue Authority, John Msinguzi, says Uganda Revenue Authority's processes have increasingly become a fertile ground for corruption. Speaking at URA Integrity Forum, John Msinguzi highlighted challenges of revenue leakage and corruption within the business landscape, pledging decisive action to address these issues. Dennis Tigoa gives us more.
The Uganda Revenue Authority Integrity Forum, Kampala edition, sought to combat corruption and revenue leakage that not only robs the economy a significant amount of money, but also slows down social and economic development. Annually, over 450 billion Ugandan shillings is lost in potential tax revenue.
We have committed ourselves in establishing integrity as one of our core values. I explained that point exclusively. We have sensitized our staff, we've sensitized our partners, the path that we must take, the path of integrity. If anybody does not heed to that call, then there will be penalty for not heeding to the call of sensitization.
The forum comes at a time when the cases of collusion between URA staff and the taxpayers are on the rise, a trend which has seen over 140 URA staff contracts terminated.
There has never been a time when URA has lost so many staff like we have lost to this scourge of corruption. 140 dismissed because of involvement in corruption.
URA Commissioner General John Msinguzi says the tax body is widening the net to nab the corrupt taxpayers and agents too.
And we shall also extend the cleaning road to our partners. If you're an agent who wants to deal with us, you must be clean. If you're a tax advisor who wants to deal with us, you must be clean. Otherwise, we will follow you there. And then, of course, even the taxpayer. Be noble, be clean, pay your taxes. Don't pay people to cut corners, because if you don't, we shall also come for you.
In the meeting, various stakeholders in the business sphere raised concerns about URA's combative nature in fighting corruption, which they say has created a big rift.
Enforcement, like after clearing your goods, after paying all the taxes, get the clearance of the URA. Again, they impound you when you are taking your things to the shop, and they stop you, send you back to URA.
Many URA processes have become fertile ground for corruption. For example, the clearance of imports, another form of corruption, manifests through the use of clearance agents.
Yes, they are bad apples, just like in any government organizations. They are also bad apples. That's their like they are corrupt people in the business fraternity. They are wrong people everywhere. But we, as licensed customs agents, we have been working together with URA to see that this corruption issue is fought.
Meanwhile, Uganda Revenue Authority has urged all taxpayers to take advantage of the ongoing tax waiver through paying the outstanding principal tax by December 30th, and all penalties and interest shall be waived. Dennis Igoa for UBC News.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Sports news now, and Uganda Olympic Committee has concluded its 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And as we hear from our reporter Grace Kemgisa, the campaign sought to create awareness against the vice in sports.
On the 1st of September 2024, less than a month after participating in the 2024 Olympics, Rebecca Cheptegei was attacked and set on fire in her residence in Trans Nzoia County, Kenya. Cheptegei sustained burns, and on the 5th of September, the Ugandan cross-country, long-distance and marathon runner, national record holder and former world champion in mountain running, succumbed to her burns at the Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital in Eldoret at the age of 33. Cheptegei's death brought renewed attention to gender-based violence in our communities and sport, and on this final day of the 16 Days of Activism campaign, we speak to the Uganda Olympic Committee President, Dr. Donald Rukidi, about gender-based violence in sports.
We took it upon ourselves to begin a campaign on saying no to gender-based violence, especially violence against women. So we have had a number of engagements with athletes, with schools, and really under this campaign we're trying to elicit the support of everybody, but especially men and boys, to be allies in this fight against gender-based violence, because we noticed from the research that a lot of young girls and women, and especially athletes, face gender-based violence, especially at the hands of their partners or within the family setting. So we've been running a campaign on all our social media platforms and with our members on Break the Silence, and trying to elicit different messages of saying no to gender-based violence, because we believe that no sports person, no person at all, should really be a victim of gender-based violence.
So how do we detect gender-based violence?
A lot of people tend to equate gender-based violence with physical violence, which is the most common form. But there are other forms of gender-based violence. And it's not only also the myth that it's violence against women. It should also be violence against boys and men. It cuts across both genders. What is gender-based violence? It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be psychological. So it has all these, it can be sexual. So it has all these manifestations. So it's important that people, first of all, are aware.
Gender-based violence continues to happen in our communities on and off the track and the field of play. Dr. Rukidi emphasizes that it takes joint efforts to totally eliminate gender-based violence in our communities and sports.
Some of the values we have in sports, in the Olympic family, are friendship. So we have to be friends. We are doing, and it's not going to be an easy proposition because it takes time to change behavior. But we need to have the frameworks in place. So, like coming back to sports, to ensure that the early age in your club, in your school, there's a gender-based gender policy, gender-based violence policy, and we're hoping that not only the sports people, but even the wider, because the sports people also live within the wider community. They're part of families, they have families. So we're really saying that let's all join forces to say no to gender-based violence.
Grace Joyce Kemigisa, UBC News.
Thanks, Grace, for that story there. Now, one of the most unique golf tournaments in Uganda has entered its second day with action at the Par 72 Uganda Golf Club, Kitante. John Bansentamo gives us more.
This Kireresi Kwacha Golf Championship has a mixture of professionals and the top gross amateur players in the country contesting for a hefty cash prize.
The main purpose of this event is to develop the talent, mostly in professionals, national team players, and other gross players. We play it on different courses. We go and develop skills, getting different talents from young people, like in Namlonge, Lugazi, Entebbe. All those places have got talents.
This tournament that was inaugurated this year has grown from its humble 6 pioneers to the more than 200 golfers that now contest it with a lot of camaraderie.
Kireresi is a get-together of golfers, professionals, amateurs, and some well-wishing amateurs who want to grow the game of golf, especially for the best amateurs, the top amateurs and the top professionals. So it's a humble group of some decent characters. We have basically some of the best golfers in this country.
Its first leg was played at the Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort and Spa, while the final leg, at which tight competition for slots is expected, is due on Wednesday at the Par 71 Entebbe Club.
At the end of the day, we are going to have winners, and we are winning cash. Like for example, for today's event, we have 5 winners. We have a kit of 9.6 million. That will be shared amongst the 5 winners.
The championship has some of the nation's best players, including Philip Kasozi, Joseph Riganakena, Ronald Rugumayo, Titus Okwong, Ronald Otire, and Joseph Chinyai.
It was something that started like a joke. Out of friends, they played a game in Namlonge Golf Club. So they came up with an idea to also involve the underprivileged, that they can also come and share shoulders with the big boys and the big men in the game of golf, because they didn't want to bridge the gap. So they came up with the idea and they gave it a name called Cheres. And they came up with an executive chaired by Mr. Hassan Chiemba, who is the chairman, and then also treasured by Mr. Ogwal Isaac, who is the treasurer of the association of the group. So I feel happy being part of the team.
Others are Andrew Sekibeja, Piska Basweka, Grace Kasango, Lawrence Walakira, Ibra Bagalana, and Michael Tomusimi, among others.
John Barnes Sentamo reporting there, and that story brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Welcome to Gatsby Night. Welcome to the Governor's Banquet. Welcome to the last night of the district conference. This is the last day of the district conference, the 99th district conference. Now, Kampala Sese Island has outdone themselves. Why do I think that they had this in mind all the time? Now, Sese Island emulates a lot of the stuff that we love about Rotary. They have been here for a time, they've been here for a long time. And I believe that choosing the 1920s was a great idea. In the 1920s, everyone loves and wants to go back. Why? It was the year of the blonde. It was the year when music was music. It was the year that everybody enjoyed themselves. It was the year of the frills, when we thought having fun, wild makeup was the only solution to having fun. And today we brought that back live. This is the Governor's Club. I welcome you to the district conference, the last night, the 99th Governor's Banquet, organized by the Rotary Club of Sese Island. Welcome to the Rotary Moment Show. Welcome to our live channel. I am still Carol Chazeka Koza. Welcome to Gatsby Night. We have had a lot of fun during the day. We had a lot of awards that were given out. The most exciting and the most important part of it was the leadership change, where we had District Governor nominee Gerard Obai announced as District Governor nominee, and the first time ever from Northern Uganda. I think for me that is wonderful. The first time ever, Northern Uganda, the heaven, like they say, they come from the Club of the Heaven. Rotary Club of Gulu has finally produced a district governor. Now, it is also important for us to note, during this conference, we have learned quite a lot. We've learned who has won what award.